Scottish weather and Scottish football coming your way on Friday night on BT Sport. Daryl Curry and the team will be with you from 7 o'clock to preview the weekend. That's followed by live coverage of Aberdeen against Celtic from 7:30, all on 1HD. 2 European rugby finals coming up this weekend on BT Sport. On Friday evening at 7:30, it's Gloucester versus Stade Francais in the Challenge Cup final on 2HD. And on Saturday afternoon at 4, the Champions League Champions Cup final is between Clermont and Saracens, again on 2HD. But the news here at the Vicente Calderon is that Real Madrid, thanks to a bit of magic from Benzema and ultimately a close-range finish from Isco, are through to the final of the UEFA Champions League for the 2nd year running. Can they make history? The fans are still out there. They don't care about the rain. They're banging their drum. They're taking the seats. They're a little memento from the Vicente Calderon. There does happen to be 1 league game left, so I don't know what people are going to be sitting on for that particular game. It could be standing room only in the final game at the Vicente Calderon. Well, the rain in Spain stays mainly on the pane of glass, thankfully for us. A bit of protection that we've just wielded in there. And ultimately, the Madrid players have come back out onto the field to salute their fans, which is pretty good of them considering the weather that's going on out there at the moment. But Real Madrid in the final again, Rio.
Yep, deservedly so. They've been fantastic. The semi-finals, that they really controlled it. Other than the first 15 minutes, up to 2 goals they conceded today, they were in full control. A masterful performance. The 2-1 goal really killed off the tie, and the Isco scored. But they were very, very, very good. They looked like they had the experience and know-how to get through and just managed and weather the storm. And this was great play from Karim Benzema. Great
crucial stage as well.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
getting through 3 players there just before half-time. Isco, like we said before, from the best player over the 2 ties, finished it off and really killed the tie dead. But Godin there really sold himself and kind of let himself down there, because obviously he's a top player. But I think he got emotionally involved there and really wanted to smash the life out of Karim Benzema there and got done.
Yeah, they were very good, weren't they? I think they just had to, even at 2-0, the whole place erupted, didn't it, of course, and you felt that Real Madrid were on the back foot, but they just slowly but surely, and as Rio said, it's that experience. This is their 7th semi-final. They knew that they somehow would be able to get back into the game. They've been behind many, many times in this Champions League, whether it was Napoli at home and away, and they find a way to get back into the game. No panic, let's keep the ball. The big players will start to get involved, and it wasn't Ronaldo tonight or whoever it may be. It was Benzema, it was Isco, it was Luka Modric yet again.
And the goalkeeper as well.
Well, the goalkeeper had a big night as well. He made saves when he had to.
Had a decent evening, made a few important saves at vital moments.
Yeah, I mean, to get to finals and to win things, you need keepers to stand up. Sometimes the back line's going to be breached, but he's got to be there to be your saviour at times, and today he was fantastic. Every time he was called upon, Danilo I thought was poor tonight, makes a mistake there, but the goalkeeper, he's got him to thank with a crucial double save there. But he was fantastic.
Well, he got him out of all kinds of trouble there, didn't he? He just wanted Gamero to be a little bit more cute with his header and maybe lift it over him instead of powering it right out. I mean, that first save there, that was easy enough. That was a nice save, of course, and he's opened his palms out to keep it away from I mean,
of course, there's a lot of speculation, isn't it, about David De Gea possibly coming here from Manchester United, but the way he's been playing wouldn't necessarily say that was going to happen.
No, that doesn't mean anything. They'd change him tomorrow if they could get David De Gea, no problem at all. No, they would do. David De Gea is young, he's Spanish. They would change him tomorrow, no problem whatsoever.
I hope they don't.
Tell you what, the midfield's not bad, is it, nowadays? When you go Isco, Modric and Cruz, I mean, boy, can they keep the ball.
We were purring. I mean, I've not seen anything like this since the Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta, the way they really took the life out of teams with the way they passed, their movement, the way they interchanged, the way they just played off each other. Isco's, over these last 2 legs, he has been unbelievable. You can't get near him. The players are in space, they're overloaded in the midfield, but it's also the ability, when they're in tight situations, to take the ball and then turn out of trouble, open the game up and make it look so easy. Benzema's footwork tonight was a joke.
I think that's the thing we should take from it, our English midfielders. The way they just drop a shoulder when they're marked and turn out and go left and go right. It's something to behold, and They were really, really good tonight. I mean, Isco's been on the periphery for the last couple of years, as we well know.
It's taken the time since he came from Malaga.
Yeah, Isco and James Rodriguez, but these two games, you know, when you looked at the star men, whether you look at Ronaldo, Griezmann, Saul, Isco has really shone, and he will have hundreds of suitors across Europe if he wants to play.
You played there for many years. Do they teach the young kids to pass the ball into people that are marked? Because in England, you're taught not to play to people that are marked. Yeah. You can see these guys, they want the ball marked when they're marked, and they're confident enough to give them the ball when they're marked, knowing that they can get out of trouble.
Well, I think that's the big thing. The big thing is actually giving it to him, because you know if he is closely marked, he can always give you it back and you can change direction. But I love the way they just fizz it into people, and they've got the confidence in their teammate to just go, you know what, drop of a shoulder, I'll go left, I'll go right.
Teaching kids not to pass the ball to people.
Man, don't give it to him. Playing the channels.
Please tell me that's changing. In the academies these days, isn't it?
I think it slowly is.
It's only a few years ago, little kids were still playing on full-size pitches.
But you have to have the confidence. When you look up, if you're marked by someone, give it to you. I'll trust you, no problem. You can always just bounce it back to me. And that's the thing, because then you open up space for other people running off you. And I thought it was a lesson tonight, you know, just to keep control of the game.
A quick word on Atletico. Did themselves justice this evening.
Yeah, to finish at this stadium with a win. Obviously they didn't go through, but they won the game, showed some heart. I think the fans will be pleased with that. Gutted they've gone out, but pleased that they've finished on a win.
It was a special night, wasn't it? It was a special night to be here. I mean, it was only 2-1. It's not a Barcelona 6-1 against Paris Saint-Germain, but the atmosphere and the way they behaved, I thought it was brilliant. They helped them all the way through.
I've got a few videos.
Although they've nicked all the seats. But
all the seats have been nicked.
They've been very well behaved indeed. Plenty still to come before we finish at 10:15 as we look ahead to the Champions League final in Cardiff. But next, we'll hear from Manchester United on the eve of their Europa League semi-final, second leg against Celta Vigo tomorrow night at Old Trafford.
Okay, it's corner again, and there's the dream start for Atletico Madrid. Fernando Torres has gone down, referee says penalty. It's 2-0, and what a start we've had here at the Calderons. That's really good by Benzema, and then Toni Kroos, brilliant save. Isco on the follow-up, and is that the goal? Is that the key goal for Real Madrid in the semi-final, scored by Isco? Well, there it is. Real Madrid are through to their 15th final. Can they become the first team to defend the trophy for 27 years?
Yes, Real Madrid will meet Juventus in the final in Cardiff on June the 3rd. Let's turn our attention to another European competition with a place in the top 4 of the Premier League looking increasingly unlikely for Manchester United. Winning the Europa League appears the only way they'll qualify for the Champions League next season. Tomorrow they take a 1-goal lead into the second leg of their semi-final against Celta Vigo.
Vigo in northwest Spain is alive tonight. Lifted in towards Vass, who's in there. And what a chance it was for Daniel Vass. He's going to try himself. It was a fantastic effort. And a flying save by Sergio Alvarez. And Mkhitaryan's made a good run. Pogba's found it. Henrik Mkhitaryan. And it's a second important save by Sergio Alvarez. Rashford to Jesse Lingard. And Alvarez is there again. Sisto's got himself. It's a brilliant save by Romero. Going to be Marcus Rashford. It's a good hit. Oh, what a goal! That is a fantastic free kick by Marcus Rashford. Manchester United win the away leg in this Europa League semi-final. They've got a big advantage now.
For the club, it will be very important. It will be very important to be again in an European final. For the club, would be very important to fight for the only trophy that the club never won before.
Tomorrow's a massive chance for us to get to the final. I think it's a competition which has been long, hard competition this season. We deserve to be here, and it's an opportunity for us to win a trophy. So it's a big chance for us tomorrow night.
For Celta is, in their words, the most important match of their history, and in my feelings, is also the most important match of our history. Doesn't matter what happened before, doesn't matter how big a matches we played before. what matters is the next one.
It's important for us to be back in the Champions League, of course. It's something we all want, and I think this club belongs there, and I think it's realistically it's going to be difficult to do it through the league, so this is the chance for us to do it, but also to win a trophy. So I think first of all we have to concentrate on trying to win the trophy and take what comes with it, and of course that's qualifying for the Champions League.
So let's see if tomorrow we can do it, and if we can go to the final. But doesn't matter what, no regrets. We are giving everything we can. The players, myself, everyone that works around, we are giving everything. So when you give everything, no problem.
Well, it's the fourth place looks increasingly unlikely, but I suppose as a player or even as a fan, you'd sooner your club get into the Champions League via winning a trophy in the Europa League. So it's and you don't have to qualify if you win the Europa League.
100%. The end of the season comes and Manchester United have won the Europa League and they're in the Champions League. You'd rather be in that camp than the team that finishes fourth, because you've got to qualify and you haven't got a medal. So in that sense, I'd rather be sitting where Man United are now. But they've still got a job to do. Celta Vigo were poor. We went and watched it last week, and they'll have to finish the job off. And Manchester United have to get them out of sight, and then it's down to a final, and it's a one-off then. And you've got to make sure you go and perform, use the experience that's in the squad that's won titles before. Players have been there and done that, but they've still got to do it. So we live in hope.
With a strong end to the season, you could have both your former clubs, of course, in the Champions League next year. I'm not talking about Real Madrid either, because they'll definitely be there.
Listen, in an ideal world, travelling around Europe, watching the Champions League, we'd love 5 teams in, and if they included Liverpool and certainly Manchester United, I think it'd be a marvellous achievement. Manchester United now, as Rio said, they should be able to beat Vigo tomorrow. You would presume Ajax will get through to the final. Very inexperienced team, average age of about 21. They're the type of teams you want to meet in the final. Yes, they can be expressive and a little bit off the cuff, but United, with their experience, 4 trophies they could have won at the start of the season. They've got an opportunity to win 2. I mean, that's it. Regardless of what you think about their season overhaul, if they leave with the League Cup and the Europa League, what a season they've had.
Exactly. Before social media erupts, by the way, we haven't forgot Celtic. We'll have 6 teams, hopefully, to watch next season in the UK. Manchester United, where do you see them at the moment? How far short are they of it being not a side that challenges to win the Europa League or challenges to be 4th, but how far off they being a side that challenges for trophies like this one, that challenges for titles?
I think not only Manchester United, but all our English teams are way off this standard. What you saw from this Real Madrid team, Bayern Munich, the Barcelona's, Juventus.
Why are we? Why, given the amount of money in the game in the English
There's a lot
League?
of money that's come into the English game, but also I think the English teams all seem to be in transition. New managers, new teams. Chelsea are the nearest. They have a real settled team, and the first 11 is a genuine first 11. I still think Man United, I still think Jose Mourinho's searching for his first 11. I don't think he sees a team where he says, right, that's my first 11, I'm going to go with them all the time. I still think he's not showing a few players, and this transfer window for Man United coming up in the summer is going to be huge.
I just feel that the English teams are in transition all the time. When you look at Juve or you look at Real Madrid, this is, as I said before, this is their 7th consecutive semi-final.
It's quite a while since England had that bit of domination.
I mean, it is secular. We've said that before. They can go round, but it's no surprise that Madrid, Bayern, Barcelona in their time, Juve, they get into the latter stages every single year. They change a little few nuances here. In England, it seems to be, we've had a bad season here, let's just rip everything up and start again. And we seem to be chasing behind the 8 ball all the time. And we're talking about Man United buying 3, 4, 5 players.
How do they change that, the English clubs? What do they do differently?
I think we need a little bit of patience with our managers more. If we can. We need to...
But they don't necessarily have patience with
the
managers
here. If we can, we need to keep hold of our better players, because we seem to get to various stages where our better players leave, where the better players never leave here, or Juve. It's the fringe players who leave, and they all want to stay, whereas, every time we get a star man in the Premier League, whether it's Chelsea with Hazard, or Real Madrid won them, Coutinho, or Barcelona won them, and everybody's looking over the shoulder all the time.
But you know what that is as well? You've got... Teams have got to be allowed, the managers have got to be allowed to build a team capable of not only winning the Premier League, but the players have got to see an ability there in the team to go and win the Champions League, and I don't think any of our teams look capable. So they're always going to be thinking, I'll go elsewhere to be able to win the Champions League. Because you win the league once or twice, a lot of these players that come to this country or here think, well, I want to win the Champions League now, and if I haven't got the ability of the team around me to do it here, I'm going to search for it. And if I can do that and get the opportunity elsewhere, they're doing that, and that's what they've done. The Suarez's, the Bows, they go in there because they want to win this trophy.
You want people like Tottenham to have the patience and have the manager or the chairman to say, you know what, you're not leaving, we're keeping you. I know it's incredibly hard, especially with the wage structure and the places like this, the allure of places like this.
I could mention many players who played in my team who could have left and gone to Barcelona or to Real Madrid, but we were challenging. That's my point. We were challenging to win this trophy, the Champions League. That's why we stayed.
Right, bringing it back, we've got the final. It's a marvellous final, isn't it? Juventus versus Real Madrid. I mean, Juve were terrific last night, weren't they? Saw it off. And they've been very strong in this competition. Don't concede goals. They'll take some beating.
Yes, they will. I mean, the only thing you could say about Juve is that when they get to the final, they invariably lose, don't they? And Real Madrid, I've got this thing about they get over the line, but it's going to be incredibly close. Lots of great subplots with Sami Khedira, ex-Real Madrid player. Gonzalo Higuain got a point to prove against Real Madrid, who let him go. So and of course, we're not even talking about the three at the back for Juve.
You mentioned the three at the back. Does the fact that these guys have experience of losing finals in this competition work against them?
Yes, it'll be in your mind. I lost two finals against Barcelona, and the first one was like a nightmare hanging over my shoulder. In the second one, you can't get it out of your mind because we lost so devastatingly in the first one. It's still there in the back of your mind. No matter how much you try and shut it out, even with the experience, you do think, he's capable of hurting us. I don't want that feeling again. I'm desperate to stay away from that feeling, and that can cloud, and that can be energy you're losing because you are worrying subconsciously. So you've got to use all the experience you can. You've got to start right in these games. The first 5-10 minutes are so crucial in these games. If you can get a foothold in the game and see some control and get some opportunities in front of goal and be clinical.
I don't think there's any weaknesses, are there, in the two teams? It's just closely matched.
There's bags of experience.
There's not one team against the other that you think, Real Madrid are favourites to win this. This is really evenly matched, and it's how they turn up on the night.
It's now or never for that kind of the back four, if you want to call it, with Buffon and the back three.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's been tremendous in this Champions League run. Some of the saves he's been pulling off. This was the game changer. This kept them in it, and they went on to win that comfortably. But I mean, he's, for someone of his age, 41 is he, to be pulling off saves like this, the condition that he's in, he's kept himself in the professionalism. And Chiellini and
it's immense, isn't it? Really? I mean, Barzali's 36, marking Mbappe out of the game. You've got Buffon. Is this going to be the one time he wins it and possibly he could retire on the back of it? You don't want him to, of course. Or is this going to be the nemesis that he's never ever going to win? Like, I don't know, like jockeys winning, the Grand National or the Derby. There's always something that evades a great player, and maybe he's going to have the perfect finish.
Yeah, as for Real Madrid, well, they've got bags of experience of winning the thing in recent seasons, and of course that thing that's eluded so many teams of winning it back to back.
And that'll be the incentive for them, that people will be saying, they've won it before, they might be as hungry as the Juventus team, but this is a chance to really etch their names into history. To be the only team to actually retain this title in the modern era will be something phenomenal for them to achieve.
We see a little tweet there from Gareth Bale. Cardiff, here we come.
Going back home.
Ala Madrid going back home. He'll be desperate to play, won't he? How do you know how far he is off fitness? A little inside word from your old...
No, I haven't inquired, to be very honest. Let's hope he's going to be back very soon, because he'll need to play in the league, won't he? He needs to play a couple of games at least. I don't think they'll be brave enough to put him right back into the final for the first game back, not in the form Isco's in, so it'd be great to see him get back, help Real Madrid win the league, and then take his place in the final.
Be desperate to play that, wouldn't you?
Of course he will, but it's timing. He's got injured at a real crucial time, and it's fitness. He's fighting against the clock now, and that's the problem. I mean, you know what it's like to play. See, if you've got a final in front of you sitting there, you want to be starting. And he'll be the same.
That's the biggest thing of all, isn't it? Missing out on a big final, the biggest. I mean, he's got experience of it, and he's very positive experience of it.
Well, you see in the last game, didn't it? Dani Carvajal seems to be... He seems to have pulled his hamstring, didn't he, the last game, and they're going to miss him if he misses it, because Danilo, who played tonight, is nowhere near the quality of Dani Carvajal. So that's what happens. You just need to stay fit, and hopefully, whether Carvajal will miss the game or certainly Gareth, it didn't seem too bad, and he had a month, 5 weeks. Let's just hope and pray that he gets back, because
But you know what it's like.
It's a terrible time if he has to
game.
miss it.
It's
Yeah.
a squad game, and these games that can be sorted out. And here they are. Look,
Ronaldo's
selfie.
posted a picture.
You've not got the trophy yet, Cristiano. So just wait.
That's right.
I mean, look, the T-shirts are already printed, you know, for the 12th trophy.
He's right at he's unusual. He's right at the back there, Cristiano. You
He's
can
not
see
got
him
his
back
shirt on.
left, yeah. And he's got his shirt on, I think, which is quite extraordinary. I mean, the only person I know takes his shirt off more than Ronaldo is Rio.
You're winding me up. You're having a laugh.
Should have seen him in the hotel before, messing for the coffee. He's got his top off.
To be honest, if I was in that kind of shape, then I would as well. Who's going to win the final? Come on.
Well,
I mean, it's premature, but we might as well.
I'm slightly biased. I've got a lot of friends involved in the club, so of course I'd like them to win it. But I think, you know, I've said before, sitting here, I love Juventus. I think the back three and the goalkeeper are absolute superstars, and I really like the manager as well. So I wouldn't mind either way.
I think Real Madrid will win it.
Why?
Just, they've done it before. They know how to get over the line in this tournament. But like Maka said, I'd be equally pleased if this Juventus team won it.
It's a great final, isn't
the great players that they've got who haven't won this tournament. Buffon, I wouldn't mind if they won it, but I just think Ronaldo and Co will have too much for them.
It'll be quite an occasion, won't it?
Oh, no,
Two
it'll be
sides of that stature.
You don't want to be
Wait to get
disrespectful to Monaco or Atletico Madrid, who have performed great throughout this tournament, but this is the final. I think the neutrals wanted. This is a real quality. Two teams with a loads of history, and it's going to be a brilliant final.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we're going to kind of brave the weather. I hope somebody's got a brolly in here for us, because it's a bit of a walk to our hotel. But thank you very much indeed. That is it from us. Atletico bid farewell to European football at the Vicente Calderon with a victory in defeat. But it's Real Madrid who will meet Juventus in the final. From all of us here, good night.